Hello everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thank you very much for joining me here. I hope you're having an amazing day. We're going to take a look here, of course, at Bitcoin, see what's going on again, and just kind of keep you abreast on the weekend activity. Now, not a financial advisor, love teaching people how to trade. I hope you can learn something here today, of course, and if possible, please consider joining my trading community if you'd like to become a better trader. CryptoCache.tech is a site. I teach you how to become a better trader with a trading academy, trading community, an amazing group of folks that I work with, over 300 members at this point, and of course, I have a signal group where I send out signals for every single trade that I take. And Bitcoin's been one of those profitable trades, as we can tell. Probably a good trading opportunity for most people. Now here's the question, is this going to pull back or is it going to continue? So that kind of is still left to be seen. It remains to be seen, of course. And generally speaking, at this point, we got to kind of understand that this is a weekend behavior, okay? A lot lower volume than normal. Now, having this low volume and the price continuing higher implies there's no selling pressure. Now that's not terrible, but it could imply that we'll see that pressure come soon, likely when market opens tomorrow. So my anticipation is that we might see a pullback tomorrow if we were to. The likelihood of it continuing straight up from here is fairly low, just based on the continuation pattern that we have here, but on the overextended side, and generally speaking, the low volume could imply we'll see a reversal. That's in most cases what happens. We saw the same thing occur last weekend as well. And then, of course, we saw a pullback on Sunday and Monday. So that being said, there is potential for that. So just be aware of it. It's not necessarily, the sky's not going to fall. We do have a really strong support level at 42.2. But generally speaking, we need to understand the fact that we're at this point where it's kind of continued on for a lot longer than it should have. Not to say it's a bad thing, but we should expect it to pull back a little bit. Okay, every good healthy continuation needs a bit of a breathing room and a consolidation / retracement. So I'd actually be happy and welcome that. And just a note too, really quick, let's look at this here as well. I pulled up the Fibonacci retracement levels again. We're looking at about 43,700. as a close approximate to the most immediate Fibonacci retracement level. So if it came down to 0.786, we'd see it potentially bounce around 43.7. Below that, of course, 42,300, 42,200 is a very close approximate as well as the next key level support. That was a previous resistance that will effectively work as a stronger support. So heaven forbid, the price drives through 43,700, sorry, speaking is hard today, 43,700, then we'll see 42,300 as a likely next target, okay? So just keep that in mind. Those are some support levels there. And also, of course, 46,000 is currently a resistance that hasn't really officially been tested yet. I mean, we kind of got one test back on February 10th, but that was a bit on the premature side, came down ever since. I think if we were to test it again, there's a likelihood of breaking through. I would feel a lot better if the price were to pull back a little bit before it does that, right? Build that foundation of volume. Taking a look at the RSI though, still in good shape, not completely overextended. So keep in mind, by no means am I saying that this run is over. I think the continuation of the upside in the relative near future is very high. I just expect some kind of correction because, 6, almost 7 days now worth of trading activity that's in the upward direction leads me to believe we might see a pullback. But cool thing is we got the 50-day set moving average working its way up to right around 41,000. So heaven forbid, none of these previous support levels, 42.3 and 43.7, do not hold. We should see 41.3 as well as a potential support level, or right around 41.5. There's a lot of support here in this channel, so that's a great thing about it. I do not feel if we have a correction that the price will effectively become significantly decreased. We shouldn't see the price come too low. All right, so all good stuff here for Bitcoin in that regard, just minus the fact that it does feel like it's pushing a little too far than it should at this point. But if you look previously during the weekday, of course, we got some really nice healthy continuation, some higher lows. Every push up was never quite fully pushed all the way down. Okay, so again, really good stuff here, except for the fact that, again, this is a bit of an overextension, and I don't truly love that idea. But the really cool thing about it is it's a nice, slow, steady pace, though. So we got to acknowledge the fact that this is a healthy continuation. And while it might look and appear to be overextended on the larger time frames, we can see this nice, healthy continuation type of pattern, right? So that's the reason why it's been able to maintain its volume and its size based on the simple fact that it's increasing steadily, okay? So honestly, it could probably continue like this for quite some time based on that sentiment. But I just, I want to urge you that we're in a major resistance zone, And the likelihood of some significant whales taking profit tomorrow is very high, considering the fact the price went up over the weekend and the last week entirely. So if you have a full weekday and a full weekend of just green behavior, you can expect some red correction in the near future. That's all I'm trying to say here, right? So just know everything that we see here so far is very healthy. RSI is not overextended whatsoever. It's kind of staying within the realm of kind of norm. It's very normal. And what's cool about this MACD here is we didn't get a significant downtrend. It's actually allowing it to kind of calm down, and potentially might even see a MACD divergence here, or convergence rather, fairly soon if this continues, right? Again, the price has to continue up and over in order for that to occur, but this is not significant in that sense. So it's very good stuff. I like what I see here as well on the 4-hour time frame. Now, looking at the 1 hour, there's not much really probably to note here. TD sequential doesn't appear to be overextended. In fact, let me check the 4-hour really quick. We're at a 6 on the 4-hour, so there's potential for pullback in the next 12 hours. But generally speaking, on the 1 hour, we're not seeing much at all. It keeps hitting 4s and 5s and just resetting. So it's again that nice consistent behavior. And this is really good trading, honestly. This is the kind of trading that I like to see in order for me to feel comfortable with the direction it's heading. Right, so this is still honoring that ascending type of pattern. If we can see this line here drawing upwards, it's working itself over. As long as we continue to maintain that pattern here in the short-term time frame, then we'll be able to identify the fact that it will likely break through 46,000 because it's building that volume and it's continuing. Just note, low volume this weekend and no selling pressure does imply we could see some selling pressure next week. Okay. Other than that, Ichimoku Cloud's probably giving us a sell signal, or well, sort of. Let me explain here. First of all, you don't necessarily need to sell your position at all if you're in a long position. That's not what I'm saying. But I am telling you, though, that the cloud is telling us, hey, that the price, even though it is still maintaining above the support level here created by the cloud, the lagging span is just because it's free and clear now, it's been recently telling us we want to close our position. Okay. We also got the conversion line above the baseline. So technically speaking, if you look at this here, we still have a green light to keep our position open because that lagging span peaked back up above, and if the price continues higher and over, then we'll see the same thing from that too as well. In other words, this being a conservative indicator is kind of letting us know that we're okay to keep our position open again. I want to urge you to be, not to use this only in making your trades, okay? It is very helpful. Don't get me wrong, it's probably one of the best indicators you can use, but it's also problematic in the sense of, it can kind of give you some false positives, and a lot of times in this continuation type of patterns that we're in, it'll kind of let you know that you want to close your position when you don't need to. Again, extra conservative, extra safe. There's nothing wrong with that. That's kind of my trading style anyways, but just generally speaking, know that going into it here and understand that we actually have a green light here regarding that, but it may not last for long, right? So as soon as we have a pullback, it'll tell us to sell our position. So generally speaking, it's too close for comfort, in my opinion. I'm honestly waiting on the sidelines right now and anticipating the price to pull back a little bit. Once again, it pulls back to my sweet spot would be 42,300, right in that range, 42.2, 42.3. Add to our position, take a long to the upside. That's essentially what I'm hoping for and would like to see. Again, the next low cannot be lower than 42,000. Let's just say 42,000. If the next low comes down and bounces off 42, we're good. We're still making higher lows, okay? But if it continues on this trend line, we could see a correction down to 43.7, 43.6, and then the price bounce up as well. There's that potential. All right, so again, a myriad of things that could happen, but all I'm telling you here is that, with the fact that we have low volume over the weekend, which is honestly quite common, but it's still a very green weekend, and we had a very strong green weekday, that leads me to believe we could see a correction Monday or Tuesday. Again, but besides that, keep this in mind too, we also have a very, very healthy continuation here. Every time it spikes up, it corrects itself just a little bit to the next major Fibonacci retracement level and keeps staircasing itself upwards. That is fantastic. I love to see that. So truth be told, this is very healthy. And then what that leads me to believe, though, is if there is a correction, it shouldn't be an unhealthy correction either. It should be a healthy one in that sense by stepping down to one of the next major Fibonacci retracement lines. Again, 43,700 or 42,300 are the next likely targets if the price were to come back down. And if it were to go up, honestly, 46,000 is, of course, going to be the next key level resistance that we could see. Also 45.5 because of the fact that that was the most recent level in which it couldn't pass, okay? But all good things here. The fact that we did close above 44,500 is extremely important. That is technically a higher high. And that's really important to understand, right? That kind of changes the direction of this trend line. Instead of down, we're going up, if you will, okay? Again, all good stuff there in that sense. So, mostly good. We just got to kind of, I would say, be careful going into the evening tonight, because tonight, of course, the Eastern market does open up and we can see a shift in momentum there. And then, of course, pay very close attention to the market open tomorrow morning. And we'll see if this correction is coming or if it's all null and void and we just keep going straight upwards, right? Again, bit on the overextended side. I would expect to pull back soon. All right, well, I hope you found benefit here, of course, and learned something today. That's the whole point and purpose of this, right? And if you want to become a better trader, CryptoCache.tech is the website, link in the description below. I look forward to helping you become a much better trader and looking forward to working with you. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for your time.